So yes, let's bring in my first guest. It's Bullseye the Clown. Now, Bullseye.
Yay!
Hey, Bullseye. Whoa. All right, Bullseye. Relax. Settle down there. Okay. So,
Okay.
Bullseye, where are you calling us from tonight?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, how nice. How nice. All right. So tell me, how did you get started being a clown?
Well, when my father passed away back in 2018, I was a stand-up comic at that time. So I did stand-up comedy for about 10 or 20 years or there, sometime between there. And I decided to leave stand-up comedy. And I had watched that movie Patch Adams that you mentioned earlier on your
Yes.
show. And I realized that Patch Adams did these clown tours all over the world. And I decided I was going to do one of these clown tours. So I contacted Patch Adams and I saw that he had a clown tour coming up to Russia. I had never been a clown before, but I had been a stand-up comic. So I thought, okay, how hard could it be? Boy, did I not know. And so I actually flew off to Russia with 35 other clowns to meet up with Patch Adams. And we were there for 14 straight days. We were in costume for 14 straight days. We went into hospitals and orphanages and children's hospitals. And I never really expected to be a clown when I came back. I thought it was just going to be some little fun thing that I was going to do. And then I was going to go back to working at Walmart or doing something like that. And then I started to see the power that clowning had on the people that we met in the orphanages and the hospitals. And so when I came back, I decided that I needed to continue to do this and figure out a way to do it. And so I'm not a birthday party clown. I'm what you call a humanitarian clown. So I do go into hospitals and orphanages. I visit the sick and help the poor. And I also do have an anti-bullying campaign that I do as well. So I kind of do it from on a lot of different angles. But I don't have a bunch of birthday parties that I do, things like that.
So tell me more about the anti-bullying campaign. How did that start and why?
Well, it was nothing I really wanted to talk about. I was bullied as a kid, as most of us were. I was pushed into lockers and knocked down and all of that kind of stuff. And back when I was growing up, we didn't have Twitter and all that stuff. We didn't even have the internet. The bullies made house calls. They would just show up and grab your underwear and run it up the flagpole. So,
Yeah.
and so when I did stand-up comedy, I never talked about it. That's not something I really wanted to talk about. But once I became a clown, I thought, you know what? It's something that I need to talk about because I still see it. I work a lot in senior communities and I see it with the seniors. You would think that you have lived your life and you're ready to live and enjoy retirement, and you have other residents who live in those same communities and they bully each other. So I actually just wrote a book and it was just released on Black Friday. So it's an anti-bullying book. Should I do a shameless plug?
Yes. Shameless. Be shameless.
So here's my shameless plug. Here's the book. It's called Bullseye on Bullying, Your Blueprint to Beating the Bullies. And it's a nice little book. You can kind of go chapter by chapter, or you can just pull out a particular chapter. If it happens to be like on cyberbullying, you can just grab that chapter and kind of read it. And I give you a lot of hints and things that you can do to overcome your bully and to put your bully back in his place.
Now, who's that aimed at? What's your audience with that book?
Well, I originally, I never really thought about having kids, in this particular bullying program, because as an adult, what I realized was I still had a lot of anger, resentment, and I really felt like I never lived up to the potential that I should have lived up to. So when I first started talking about bullying, I really wanted to take it from an adult perspective of, you have some people who become really, really super famous who are bullied, like Lady Gaga or Susan Boyle. And then you have people like me, who never really lived up to what, I had expectations of because I listened to what other people said. So originally, I've had a lot of people who are over 80 years old recently just read my book, and they say that it has changed their life just because they have had all this anger, resentment. And that is the one thing when I went on this clown tour that I did, I had that anger and resentment for my stepdad, who was an alcoholic, who used to abuse me, all the people in school. And when I started doing nice, positive things for other people for that 14 straight days, when I came back, I realized I no longer had all that anger and resentment. All of that went away. And so I realized there was something to doing nice things for other people and kind of getting out of your own head and out of your own worry and out of your own, misery, and doing something nice for other people. And so that's kind of another angle that this book has as well.
All right, you wrote a book, you make appearances. What's your next step? What do you want to do next, Bullseye?
Well, I have a YouTube show, so I do a YouTube show. But I would love to I'd love to go on a speaking tour with the book. So that's what I'm working on right now, setting up a speaking tour to go along with the book. And I mentioned that years ago, I used to do stand-up comedy.
Yes.
And I never really, enjoyed it as much as I probably should have, because I was putting a lot of stress on myself. So I decided that now that I'm a clown, I'm going to go back as a clown and do stand-up comedy. So I've been doing some comedy shows here in Arizona as Bullseye the Clown, and it's been going really, really well. So hopefully maybe I will launch a Bullseye the Clown comedy tour as well.
Well, we have a wonderful comedy club here in Burlington, Vermont, the Vermont Comedy Club, and we'd love to have you there. And we have some independent bookstores that I'm sure would love to have you sell your book there too.
Well, I'm going to write that down.
You do it, and you can put me down as a reference. They know me.
Okay.
They know me.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Let's throw Bullseye's email or his website up there one more time so people know how to get
There I am.
Bullseye the Clown. All right, on YouTube.
And
you got books.
Amber, we
Yes.
have a quick video from Bullseye, one of his YouTube videos to show
Oh,
as
please
well.
do. Oh, yes.
Well,
Thank you.
I don't remember what I sent.
How can you deal with a bully in less than 2 minutes? Your 2-minute anti-bullying tip is coming right up. How to deal with a bully? Number 1, if the situation seems threatening or dangerous, simply turn and walk away. No, it doesn't mean you're weak if you turn the other cheek. Sometimes you just need to get out of that situation. Walk towards people if there are people there. Those people can help to buffer the bully or to hold the bully back if need be. Now, number 2 might sound like a no-brainer, but just tell the bully to stop bullying you. Yes, turn, face the bully if you can do so safely. Stand in a power stance, so stand with your feet shoulder width apart, stand up nice and tall, puff out that chest, and look the bully straight in the eye and say, "Knock it off, Carl," or "Take a hike, Mike. What you're doing is not appropriate." I know it sounds like a no-brainer, but sometimes, believe it or not, something as simple as telling the bully to knock it off will get them to knock it off. Number 3, this is one of my favorites. Cause a distraction. That's what I like to do. What does causing a distraction mean? Oh, scream fire, drop dead, roll on the floor, look like you're having a seizure. It doesn't matter. Just create some kind of a havoc. One will probably scare the wits out of the bully and make them go running. A lot of times I used to do that whenever I was in school. I would create a distraction. The bully would run away, and then the teacher would come up to me and say, "What on earth are you doing?" So those are 3 wonderful ways that you can deal with a bully in less than 2 minutes. For more 2-minute bully tips, click subscribe right down there. And until the next time, stay safe.
How cool. How cool. Okay, I got to ask. Now, Gary Buck is one of our biggest fans here on Amber Live and Amber Chat. How do you know Gary Buck?
I actually met him online in an online group that we had a long time, like many years ago. And then it was like GCO, or it was like Gay Christian Outreach or something like that. I can't remember what exactly, or Grace Online or one of them. And then we ended up having a little get together. So we actually met up with some of the people that we met online. And I'm originally from Ohio, so that's how I first met them, was that I lived in Ohio at the time. And we just kind of kept in touch ever since. And so thank you, Gary, for recommending this.
Oh, yes. It's a small world. I love the Amber, 3 separations from Amber. I love that. Bullseye, thank you very much. And again, check out coming to Burlington, Vermont for our comedy club and our independent bookstores. And I hope to meet up with you soon. All right. Thank you very much, Bullseye. Bye-bye. Oh, wasn't that fun? What a good message. What a good message for everyone. We've all had experiences with bullies.